and go ahead and begin, and after that, then I will call the next person, saying good morning and thank you and welcome.
Good morning and thank you. My name is Heidi Meyerhofer Leveroni. I am an El Dorado County resident and a Placerville downtown merchant. I'm here to speak to you about the historic Placerville Court House and the proposal to have it move. I've been a member of the Downtown Association since 2013 and have regularly attended the association meetings, monthly meetings, at which time the city manager would present a city report. At no time in the year and a half that I was attending those meetings was there any word about the courthouse moving. Until December 4th at that meeting where he announced that the period for public comment about the courthouse had closed on December 1st. At that time, I looked back through all of the agendas to see if I had missed something, and there had been no record of any comment about the courthouse moving. At that time, I went ahead and did just a poll of my fellow merchants, and I went door to door to all the businesses on Main Street, and many had not heard. In fact, in a period of 3 to 5 days, I got a petition to save the courthouse, which I thought was possible at the time. And I had 60 merchants and local community members able to sign that petition. I want to suggest that the impact of moving the courthouse off of Main Street will be dramatic. Businesses recognize between 5 and 30%, depending on the type of business, generated by the traffic that serves the courthouse. I'm afraid that moving the courthouse would have a very dramatic effect on our culture as well.
Thank you very much. Okay, and our next speaker is Ms. Sue Taylor. In the ready position would be Mr. Kirk Smith.
Hello, Sue Taylor. I'm also speaking regarding the Placerville Courthouse. When El Dorado County was going to develop the courthouse, the city wrote in an extensive letter regarding its concerns about supplying adequate utilities to the site. We don't know where the city's concerns have been addressed. These were their concerns. The fire flow for this project was not analyzed. Would the current fire flow be sufficient given the water would be coming from the same reservoir that serves downtown Placerville? Would the new impact on the system continue to be adequate for the new area and downtown if there were to be a fire in the area? Wastewater. The city stated that there were deficiencies in the wastewater system and the county should be required to repair all known collection system defects located on county facilities that feed into the same collection system. The sheriff just applied for a grant to expand the jail, which is on the same property. Transportation. The city mentioned impacts to 9 roadways and the freeway with no discussion of mitigation to those impacts, no method to share the costs, no commitment to participate with the city in deferring or mitigating these impacts.
1 minute.
6 more impacts were listed that were not addressed. So in 2000, the city brought up these concerns to the county, and when the state took over control of this project, the city made none of these comments. It is well known there are serious concerns with the water and sewer, and I have firsthand of this, but I don't have time to explain that to you, apparently. And then I thought we had 3 minutes. The final EIR basically just said that the providing the water, sewer, and drainage for the courthouse would deplete.
30 seconds.
We have serious concerns. There's a lot of mitigation that wasn't even addressed, impacts that were on this property. We passed a Measure K that doesn't allow for roundabouts without a vote of the public, and the city said they're going to ignore that and move forward anyway. There's a lot of collusion and different other things, and it's been frustrating. We've emailed the court several times on these and never got a response to our concerns. And yet the project's continuing to move forward without any addressing of these issues. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kirk Smith, and then in the ready position, Ms. Lori Parlin.
Kirk Smith, Placerville Historic Preservation League. Madam Chief Justice and distinguished members of the council, I am absolutely sure that none of you had any idea about the long history of corruption associated with this project over a course of 40 years. In 1965, a civil grand jury came up with a report covered on the front page of local paper that said that courthouse should be torn down and replaced with one down on property owned by Senator Briggs at the other end of town. The public was outraged. They worked hard in public meetings to get the money and save that courthouse. But no, it didn't stop Senator Briggs, who had acquired the property. Behind the scenes, they continued to move for it. He had the property, and you're in a position when you're a state senator of exerting a lot of power, and local politicians who have a chance to use lots of your money. So when he wasn't there, there was, after all, his son, who was on the Board of Supervisors. He would meet at every session for lunch with two members of the supervisors, his colleagues, Jack Sweeney and John Knight, who we later learned were on your committee that's supposed to be advising about public interest. But no, it was behind closed doors.
1 minute.
When John Briggs came into problems with bankruptcy and he had to bail himself out, he had money loaned to him, $2 million from the husband of Sue Novostel, a supervisor, who in turn turned around and gave Sue Novostel $10,000 in a campaign contribution, none of which was discovered until that information was leaked to the public. You cannot borrow money on landlocked property. So guess what? His supervisors, his colleagues, his friends helped him out. They made a dramatic switch of two unmarked parcels, 5.2 acres, and manipulated the studies so they came out exactly equal. In conclusion, I just wanted to give you the courtesy of outlining in these few precious moments an example of what will be quantified at great length and reported to the Inspector General, as well as to the Senate committees that we've been communicating with. Because I, in conclusion, ask Your Honor to do the inherent equitable authority that justices have to do justice. Because this project smells.
Next speaker is Ms. Lori Parlin. Within the ready position would be Ms. Roberta Fitzpatrick.
Thank you. I'm wrapping up what the previous three speakers said. We ask that you reassess the Placerville Courthouse project and its approval process. There have been so many red flags along the path of this project that it is beyond suspicion. The city of Placerville received notification of the draft EIR. Why didn't the city share that notification with its citizens and merchants? The city made extensive comments in 2000 about the lack of utilities and infrastructure for this project. Why didn't the city make similar comments on the draft EIR to alert the Judicial Council of the lack of utilities and infrastructure needed to accommodate this project? Comments on the draft EIR continue to be sent in after the closing date. Did all Judicial Council members have an opportunity to read those public comments? The entire city has been suffering from aging, deteriorating water and sewer pipes. Why is the courthouse being singled out for water contamination when it is a citywide issue? El Dorado County's piece of land was accessible from an existing road. Why did the county rely on a substandard appraisal and accept a land swap for a lesser valued landlocked piece of property?
1 minute.
The county's history shows that it does not budget to maintain local historical buildings. Why did the county accept that a blue ribbon committee with no funds and no enforceable authority, that it was adequate mitigation to repurpose the historical courthouse and prevent it from falling into a state of dilapidation? The list of questions and concerns goes on and on. Many towns have fought to keep their civic buildings in the heart of their downtown. It is clear that the historical Placerville Courthouse is a vital part of downtown's vibrancy. However, there were many behind-the-scenes influence in swaying the outcome of this process. The public was denied an open and transparent process that is essential to an informed outcome. Please consider all of what was shared with you today and ask that the process be revisited so that the public is engaged and additional alternatives are evaluated. Thank you for the opportunity to bring this matter to your attention.
Thank you.